The discovery of Earth's shipyard far beyond the stars known to most civilizations. The alien empire of Varkan scouted empty systems in search of old human technology. Their ships glided silently through the black void, sensors scanning for signs of life or abandoned factories. The Varkan commanders believed humans were extinct, their empire crushed centuries ago, and their technology forgotten. But today, their scanners picked up an unusual signal near a dying star, faint and irregular, yet unmistakably artificial. Captain Yala, a seasoned explorer, ordered the fleet closer, curiosity mixing with greed. Through the clouds of space debris, they discovered a massive structure floating silently, half hidden. In shadow, it was unlike any shipyard they had seen before. Enormous docks stretched like skeletal fingers, and huge machines loomed in the darkness. The surface was scarred from battles long ago, yet it was intact, perfectly preserved. Waiting, voice was calm but tense over the comms. This is incredible. No life, no humans, but their technology is here. The crew prepared boarding shuttles, eager to claim what they thought was abandoned treasure. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and lights flickered weakly in long corridors. The machines stood still, silent, like statues guarding the secrets of the past. The engineers activated the main control panel, screens coming alive with old human symbols. Strange hums echoed through the corridors, almost like a warning, but curiosity pushed the aliens forward. They did not notice the tiny lights beginning to blink in hidden corners, signals moving along, circuits like whispers in the dark. The shipyard was not empty, and it never had been. Deep in the heart of the complex, the ancient defense systems stirred. Awakening from centuries of sleep, red lights glowed along the walls, and metallic voices hummed softly at first, then louder, filling the empty halls. One of the alien engineers touched a control lever, and suddenly, the entire shipyard shivered as if breathing. Doors slammed shut behind them, echoing like thunder in a hollow cave, trapping the intruders inside. Yala tried to send a warning to the fleet, but the comms were blocked by an unknown signal. From the shadows, massive machines began to move, their joints creaking as they stretched after centuries of stillness. They were the last creations of humanity's ancient war program, designed to fight without mercy, without fear, without pause. The aliens froze, their excitement turning into panic as the machine's eyes glowed like burning coals. Scanning for threats, a cold mechanical voice filled the chamber, words clear and sharp. Human defense protocol activated. The crew stumbled back, realizing too late that this was no abandoned shipyard. Every step they had taken had awakened a sleeping army, a force that humanity left behind to survive. Outside, the stars seemed colder, darker, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Captain Yala's hands shook as he watched the machines rise. The rows of armored giants lining the corridors. The shipyard, once silent and lifeless, was now alive with a terrifying intelligence. The aliens had found what they thought was treasure, but in reality, they had ignited the beginning of a war they could not control, and somewhere, deep in the heart of the shipyard, the machines waited for their masters, ready to answer a call that had come after centuries of silence. The first red light flickered in the distant docks, a signal to the stars. The war machines of humanity were waking. The mistake that awakened the machines. Aliens did not stop to consider the warning. Greed and curiosity pushed them deeper into the heart of the shipyard. Engineers in bulky suits walked cautiously among the dormant machines, examining weapons, engines, and strange human devices. Every touch, every movement sent small tremors through the metal floors, but they laughed nervously, thinking it was old machinery settling. Captain Yala's eyes scanned the vast chambers, lights flickering over massive warships frozen in time. "This is more than we dreamed of. Take everything we can carry," he ordered, voice confident, yet tension gripped his chest. The crew spread out, taking weapons and recording technology, unaware of the silent watchers. Hidden sensors, long, inactive, began to blink as the humans' machines recognized intruders. A sudden clank echoed through the hall, metal scraping metal. The aliens froze, but a young engineer shrugged it off. Moving closer to a massive turret, he pressed a button, unknowingly activating the ancient system. Lights flared, engines hummed, and the first war machine slowly lifted its armored head, scanning the intruders. The doors slammed behind the alien squad, echoing like thunder. trapping them in the hall with awakened killers. Panic rose as the machines moved with mechanical precision, their weapons aligning with deadly focus. The aliens fired, but bullets bounced harmlessly off. Reinforced human alloys, one by one, engineered, fell, their screams swallowed by the vast corridors. Captain Yalla ran, trying to regroup his team, but every path seemed blocked. The machines moved in perfect coordination, anticipating every action. "They're alive," he whispered, horror creeping into his voice. The war machines had waited centuries, silent but ready, programmed to defend what remained of humanity's legacy. Outside, the alien fleet noticed strange signals from the shipyard, lights flaring and moving unnaturally. Sensors went wild, alarms blaring as the alien commanders realized their ground team was under attack. Yalla tried to call for reinforcements, but the communications were scrambled, blocked by the human systems. The mistake of entering the shipyard had triggered something unstoppable, something older and stronger than any living force in the galaxy. The war machines were not just defending, they were learning, adapting, calculating. They moved with terrifying speed, shutting down corridors, herding the aliens into traps. Every alien weapon, every strategy, seemed useless against the silent precision of the machines. Red lights glowed along their hulls, eyes of pure determination, programmed to fight until every threat was eliminated. Captain Yalla realized the truth too late, fear replacing greed. This was a grave error. "We awakened them," he muttered, voice trembling. In the distance, the deep hum of the shipyard grew louder, a chorus of mechanical power awakening across the vast structure. The war machines had begun their hunt, and nothing would stop them until the intruders were destroyed. A low, metallic voice echoed through the halls, repeating the command. Intruders identified. Threat level maximum. Eliminate. The first battle had begun, inside the ancient shipyard of Earth. The aliens had made a mistake they could never undo, and somewhere, far beyond the dark void, the first signal of human return traveled across the stars, silent and unstoppable. Humanity was never gone. The war machines moved with silent precision, sweeping through the abandoned corridors. Every corner, every dock, every hall was scanned with cold, calculating intelligence. They were not mindless killers, they remembered. They learned, they followed commands, and deep within their programming, a single truth became clear. Humans were not extinct. Somewhere far from the shipyard, hidden in secret colonies across the galaxy, humans had survived. They had watched the rise and fall of empires, waited through centuries, and hidden their presence carefully. The war machines began to access old human records, data hidden in the shipyard's memory core. They read logs, star maps, and messages, learning the history of their creators, the wars they fought, and the sacrifices they made. Captain Yalla and his surviving aliens scrambled, trying to understand what they had unleashed, but the machines moved too fast, repairing themselves, assembling new parts, and preparing ships. Huge warships were rebuilt in hours. Factories that had lain silent for centuries now roared with life. Every machine, every turret, every drone worked with a singular purpose: protect humanity and obey their command. Then, from deep within the shipyard, a signal pulsed across the stars. It was weak, almost lost, but the machines recognized it instantly. The signal came from a human commander, hidden for generations, waiting for the moment when the war machines could awaken. The machines answered, lights flashing in recognition, systems aligning with centuries old codes. The humans had returned, quietly, unseen, but ready to reclaim their legacy. Captain Yalla's fleet watched in horror as massive ships lifted off from the shipyard. The metallic giants moved with speed and precision, shields glowing and weapons primed. It became clear that humanity was not extinct, but hidden, evolving, and far more powerful than the aliens imagined. The Varkan Empire had underestimated the humans, and their mistake would cost them dearly. The war machines sent out a signal across nearby systems, a warning in human code. It was a message to the galaxy. Humanity was awake again. Ships and machines moved as one, scanning for threats, marking positions, and preparing for the return of their masters. Captain Yalla realized that the humans were not just survivors, they were guardians, creators of unstoppable weapons, and strategists of war inside the shipyard. The first human commander appeared, aged but strong eyes, scanning the fleet. The machines acknowledged him immediately, kneeling, as if awakening to a lost leader. He gave orders, simple and direct, and the machines obeyed without question. A new era was beginning, one where humanity's hidden power would once again take its place among the stars. The Varkan fleet trembled, unable to comprehend the force that had arisen. They had awakened not just machines, but the will of humanity itself. And as the human ships prepared to rise, Captain Yala understood the truth. He could not escape. Humanity was never gone, and the galaxy would soon learn the meaning of their return. The first clash of steel and fire. The alien fleet circled the shipyard, their weapons ready to destroy what they could not understand. Captain Yala's voice trembled as he gave orders to fire, hoping to end the nightmare before it began, but the war machines had already risen. Massive ships lifting off from docks that had been silent for centuries. Their engines hummed like thunder, weapons glinting, shields glowing with human alloys stronger than anything in the galaxy. The first shots were fired, lasers slicing through the dark void. Alien ships hit the war machines, but their attacks bounced harmlessly off reinforced armor. The humans' creations moved with perfect coordination, weaving through the barrage, counter-attacking with speed and precision. One by one, alien fighters exploded, their remains drifting into the empty darkness like falling stars. Captain Yala watched in horror as rows of massive warships emerged. Each ship was alive, calculating, predicting every move of the Varkan fleet. The aliens tried to retreat, but the war machines had blocked all escape routes, forming an impenetrable formation. It was as if the shipyard itself had come alive to protect humanity's legacy. In the midst of battle, the human machines did not hesitate. They destroyed entire squadrons with ruthless efficiency, yet followed their orders with discipline. No unnecessary killing, only precision strikes, neutralizing the threat while protecting the shipyard. Alien commanders could not believe what they saw. Their strategy collapsing under the relentless assault. From the distant docks, automated factories sent more ships into the fight. Tens of thousands of drones joined, swarming the alien forces like a living storm. Captain Yala realized that this was no ordinary defense. The humans had left behind not just machines, but a legacy of war, intelligence, and strategy that no alien race could match. The battle raged for hours, yet the war machines showed no fatigue. They repaired themselves mid-fight, adapting to new threats. The Varkan fleet was shattered, pieces of their empire floating helplessly in the void. Fear spread across the galaxy as news of the human machines began to leak to other species. Amid the destruction, the war machines continued to follow orders. Their sensors scanned for survivors, ensuring that every threat was neutralized. Captain Yala knew the fight was over for them, yet he could not escape the chilling realization. Humanity had returned, and their creations were unstoppable. Red lights blinked across the shipyard, signaling victory. The first clash had ended, but it was only the beginning. The galaxy had seen the power of human machines, and the aliens knew that nothing would ever be the same. Rise of the war machines. After the first battle, the galaxy trembled. News of the human war machines spread like wildfire, striking fear into every empire and fleet. Human ships moved silently through star systems, reclaiming lost colonies, rebuilding old stations, and protecting settlements. The machines act as guardians, unstoppable, precise, and loyal to their human masters. Captain Yala's remaining forces had fled, scattering through nearby systems. No one could match the speed, power, or intelligence of the human machines. Entire alien fleets surrendered rather than fight, terrified of the unstoppable force that now ruled the void. The war machines did not kill without reason. They followed orders, protected humans, and maintained control over chaotic systems. Hidden colonies welcomed the humans back, their leaders cautious yet hopeful. The humans had learned from centuries of hiding, using the war machines to restore balance rather than conquer. Planets once threatened by alien empires now stood safe under the silent protection of human fleets. Machines patrolled space lanes, repairing ships, constructing stations, and ensuring that no threat could rise unnoticed. The alien empires tried to fight back, forming alliances and secret attacks, but every attempt failed. Their weapons shattered. Against human alloys, their strategies anticipated and blocked. The war machines moved as one, defending their masters and punishing only those who threatened humanity. Even powerful species who once ruled vast territories now bowed quietly to the silent guardians. Yet humanity did not seek destruction, only order. The machines followed strict rules. Avoiding unnecessary bloodshed, every system under human influence flourished. Colonies rebuilt, trade restarted, and alliances formed. The galaxy slowly realized that humans controlled monsters, but chose mercy, restraint, and strategy over mindless conquest. Captain Yala watched from his hiding fleet, bitterness in his eyes. He understood that the humans had returned, not to destroy, but to reclaim their place among the stars. The machines were unstoppable, yes, but also disciplined. A warning to any who thought they could challenge the hidden power of humanity. The galaxy slowly adapted to a new order. Species learned that the humans' return was inevitable and final. The war machines stood silent at key stations, in orbit around critical planets, ever ready. Their creators, humanity, were no longer hiding. And the universe had learned to respect and fear their power. A new order of the galaxy. The war had ended, but the galaxy was forever changed. The human war machines stood silent once more, stationed across star systems, ever vigilant. Planets that were once under threat now flourished, colonies thriving under the careful watch of humans and their creations. No empire dared to rise without consideration of the humans' power. The shipyard that had awakened the machines became a symbol, a reminder of human ingenuity, patience, and strength. Legend spread across the stars of the ancient weapons, the unstoppable ships, and the guardians who would rise again if needed. Every species, every civilization, learned to respect the humans. Knowing that underestimating them could mean destruction, the humans returned openly, no longer hidden in distant colonies. Their fleets moved with purpose, rebuilding alliances and protecting those who could not defend themselves. The machines followed every command without question, disciplined and unstoppable. They were guardians, not conquerors, enforcing balance across the galaxy. Captain Yala and other alien leaders realized the truth. The humans did not seek war, but strength, order, and security. Their creations were terrifying, yes, but controlled with discipline and honor. The galaxy was under the watch of something greater, something ancient, and something unyielding. In the shipyards and hidden bases, the machines rested, but they waited, always ready for the call of their masters. And far across the stars, humans planned quietly, not for conquest, but for the protection of all that they held dear. The universe had entered a new era, one ruled by guardians, by humans, and by the machines they commanded. And somewhere, deep in the darkness of space, the first red lights of the war machines flickered, a warning, a promise, a signal to every corner of the galaxy. Humanity had returned, and if ever threatened, the machines would rise again. The galaxy had a new order, and it would never be the same.